shaggy dog jumped out of the bushes.
I can take out those dogs.
I take it back. I don't know if I can take that thing on. That thing is evil. Look at his face. Hey guys, welcome back to more Legend of the Willow, and I've heard that this got pretty good. People said, I don't know, but I'm excited just to continue to see what this is going, because we just now figuring the story out. So it says, May strikes up an unusual acquaintance. Okay, so we're playing episode 3. Let's see what we get into. I'm very interested. Okay, what happened to us last time? Oh, we just got away. Oh, and we saw that guy who was a monster guy. I forgot what it's called. Yokai? Something like that. Chapter 3, The Escape. The sad expression. Isa? In the eyes of that caged bird. Envying the butterflies. Fighting back the urge to turn around, May swiftly walked away from the gates. Okay, hold up. That's really loud. It's a little better. I don't want it to be too low, but I don't want it to be too high either. So I'll put it right there. Okay. With the urge to turn around. Oh, somebody's like talking behind me? I forgot what was happening. We were trying to get out of the gates. May swiftly walked away from the gates. I'll be caught by the guards if I'm outside at night. If I went to an inn alone, there are those who might wish to be my patron regardless of my opinion on the matter. They won't help me, but they'll be sure to get their payment in advance. Where else can I go? I need to think my next steps through. The inn? Or the old shed, with its cold and sawdust? May shivered at the thought of the latter. A knot formed in her throat at the thought of returning to that wretched place. She grimaced and absently rubbed at the tension. No, I have to find a warm place to stay the night. So, I guess that means we're going to an inn? She wasn't sure how far Mother Canillo's gift would take her, so May carefully rented the most modest room she could find. A servant brought in hot water and made the bed. Once May was alone, she sat down and cupped her head in her hands. Delirium, fever, hallucinations. This simply cannot be real. Her fear did not pass. Rather, it was joined by sadness. What is going on? My mentor died because of me. What if I am a witch? What should I do next? I'm in between the choices of... I don't think she's necessarily... She might be a witch. But I feel like there's more to it than that. So I'm in between the choices of my mentor died because of me and what should I do next. I kind of think we should just focus on what to do next, right? Well, then dwelling on the fact that my mentor died because of me. I mean, in a sense, that's true, but it's also not at the same time. I think there's a lot more going on than we understand right now, and it's hard to say if that's actually true. What should I do next? She tried to focus. Coldness. Uh-oh. Are we doing the other one? So were we supposed to give in to our emotions? I've been kind of thinking on it. I'm like, what path should I go? Should I do coldness or give in to my emotions? Because I feel like, okay, on Chasing You, we're doing the logic route and not intuition, so we're just kind of logically thinking out everything. And I feel like that's the path I usually try to take in games, so it might be difficult for me to do the passionate route. Yeah, it's just not my normal fallback. I don't know, should I do passion or coldness? Huh. I don't know if we've had, I can't remember if we've had a path of this or that yet. We probably have. I don't like when my characters run their mouth either at the same time. Oh my gosh. And that's what passionate tends to be. You just kind of get caught swept up in your emotions. Let me try it again. Yeah, you get back to this one rather quickly. That only took me like 30 seconds. Okay. Let's try the other choice I was interested in. Let's see what this does. May pursed her lips and whispered. Passion. Okay. Forgive me, Mr. Sumiko. You did so much, and this is how I repaid you. I swear, I didn't know this would happen. They were looking for me, but instead they came to you. That's what I think. That creature by the Okia. Who was that? And why are they looking for me? She closed her eyes and a realization struck her. I can't do this alone. But I don't have anyone to turn to. Mr. Sumiko always said, you never know what the next morning might bring, another morning or another life. The image of her body wrapped in white cloth haunted May, keeping her awake late into the night. Finally, she succumbed to the restless sleep filled with the events of the past days. But we need to get out of this town. Her morning began with a sore throat and a servant entering the room unannounced. The servant had decided to bring May's breakfast directly to her. The soup turned out to be bland and the servant too talkative. While May ate, she had no choice but to listen to the complaints about the early snow, the cost of firewood, and the rampancy of crime in the city. Without missing a beat, the servant began telling her how the last time she had seen this many guards, they were pursuing an escaped bandit. And then there were her grievances against the neighboring inn, but by that point, May was no longer paying attention. I know exactly who could help me. Or maybe he knows someone who could help me. He's done for anyway. How can I go about meeting him, though? What can I offer in return? Do prison cells have windows? When the situation is dire, I must do something. I won't give up so easily. Is she talking about trying to get in touch with the bandit or that criminal that we met in the first episode? She stood, feeling much better by herself and her situation. May paced around the room, the clarity of her goal giving her strength. First things first, I need to find out where he's being kept. If he's still alive, that is, and hasn't been executed yet. In the local prison, or the daimyo's place? How can I find out? Should I go to the palace, eavesdrop on the guards, bribe the guards, or visit the jail? Eavesdrop? One of them might say something. It's not every day that bandits get executed here. It's still early. No one will be talking. Around midday, May opened the door and quietly slipped outside, trying not to attract any attention. I have to keep my guard up. During her training, May had visited numerous venues around the city. The Bluefish Tea House, where soldiers and adventurers shared their stories and latest rumors, was no exception. Before going there, however, May decided to find a hat that would conceal her face. Diamond options. A tall hat. An expensive hat. Or a simple hat. You think this will give us points? Let's go in between, see what happens. I don't know. May needed to eavesdrop on the conversations around her without attracting unwanted attention, so she took a seat at a corner table. A server immediately approached her and patiently waited for her order. I don't think I have money. I think they give her a little bit of money. We got tofu, salmon, or just tea. I'm down for some tea. But she probably needs a little food, right? Like some protein or something. I'll probably eat the salmon. What a delicious smell, not to mention the flavor. She looked around the people around her. The tea house was quite crowded. The more the better. The men next to her were talking about just about everything except for what she wanted to hear. The path to passion. Okay, so here's the path person, so I can see if this is something that I would like, and if not, then I can switch it up a bit. After a short while, May changed tables, complained to the server about a draft, and at a moment too soon, she quickly tuned into their conversation. Can you imagine? One turned out to be a witch, and the other one's dead. It's pretty straightforward if you ask me. One killed the other. What's young getting rid of what's old? Clearing the path, so to speak. Right? May focus on subduing her rising anger. It's all too strange. Why would she do that, given that they lived in the same Okia for so long? Maybe it was over a patron? I don't know. Rumors say that she's a fox. But how often do you hear about Kitsune in cities? What I'm wondering, is that more common out of cities? If so, I need to go find them. What I'm wondering is, how soon will she be caught, and what will the sentence be? Will she be stoned to death or rolled in clay and then baked? Oh my god. I doubt she's still lurking around here. She probably fled for the woods the same night. Maybe you're right. The dead one was found outside the gates. But if she killed her over a man, why would she run away? Probably wanted to kill him too, just wasn't able to. Now she's in hiding. The men changed subjects and May stopped listening. Patrons came and went, leaving May with a different crowd as she finished her salmon. Yeah, I still haven't learned what I want to know. She ordered an expensive, labor-intensive dish to avoid any suspicion over her extended stay. Then, an unexpectedly familiar face appeared at the blue fish. I'm gonna be honest, I remember him, but I don't remember why I remember him. Oh, it's him. He was accompanied by a soldier, and the two men sat down at a table. Of course they had to sit down facing me. She looked down, concealing her face beneath her hat. After putting it in their order, the men continued a prior conversation. I'm telling you, you should join us. No, I much prefer the countryside. Besides, the city already has too many commanding officers. Those aren't very honorable words. I dutifully serve my lord. I simply prefer to do it in my own way. That kind of service isn't for me. Someone has to guard the criminals. You guard them, and I bring them here for you to guard. Speaking of, how about that last one? Nothing unusual. He's sitting there waiting his turn. He'll hang soon enough. Be careful with him. Oh, okay, wait. No, this is the guy from the first episode. He was the one who told us to go give a drink to the criminal guy. I think I'm pretty sure. Oh? He's extremely dangerous. Not a regular bandit. What makes you say that? Experience. I've seen a lot of scum in my time. He's different. They must be talking about him. The samurai only had one prisoner. Well, since you caught him, we'll make sure not to let him slip away. The locks in the lower cells are sturdy. The samurai shrugged. I hope you're right. Okay, so they're in the lower cells. Should I be writing this down? Where is my pen and pencil? This is awful. Wait a minute. Okay, got a new pen. Set that back down. Okay. He's being kept in the lower cells. My pen didn't want to write. I hope you're right. Oh, come on. Thanks for the warning, though. Extra caution wouldn't go amiss right now. What do you mean? Some of our men were called away to find a girl. I don't get it. Anyway, there are only a few guards posted, and we only have one man to watch the cells. But I assure you, the locks are sturdy. He won't escape. Only one guard, huh? This girl, is she the Maiko from Mistress Kanuyo's Okia? Yes. Do you know Takuma Goto? Isn't he leading the search? Takuma Goto. If I knew who that was, I don't remember anymore. I feel like names might be important in this one. That's right. He's taking great initiative in this matter. Yes, excessive, some might say. He lowered his voice. Since the two of you know each other, could you pass a few words along? Yeah, listen closely. I need to know the scoop. Mistress Kunuyo is well loved by everyone in the city, but Goto is causing her great discomfort. Speaking of which, I happened to meet Sumiko shortly before she died. I didn't know her personally, though. I don't have anything against Kunuyo, and I knew Sumiko personally. So, please tell me, what's so wrong with Takuma? Shouldn't we try our best to catch this Kasune? Not you too. Kasune? Nothing but fairy tales. Rumor is, Goto himself stated that there was no witch and no indication of witchcraft in the Okiya. Someone killed Sumiko. The girl witnessed it, and now she's afraid, hiding somewhere. That's why he should leave the geisha alone. Who's he looking for again? What was it? Yuki? Mei. Ah, Mei. An ordinary girl, believe me. I saw her. Let him search for her. We do have to get to the bottom of this, no doubt. It's just unnecessary to keep such a close eye on the Okiya. It's bad for the geisha. Kyo Sagae saw the fox as clearly as I see you now. Closer, even. He's a very respected man. He wouldn't lie. Although, you may be right. According to Takuma, the advisor was drunk. They can't both be right. Doesn't the guard's story seem more plausible? After a pause, the soldier nodded. I'll tell him, but I'm not his commander. I understand. Let's leave it like that. Mei decided not to listen further. Okay. So Goto guy, he's leading the search. And we got some more information, and a lot of people don't believe the fox thing, which is good for us right now. He's probably the one who was giving orders near the Okiya. He doesn't believe the advisor's story, but to claim that he was drunk? People lose their heads for less. Mei recalled the face from the reflection. Soon enough, her expensive dish arrived. She ate slowly. Can we afford that? When the two men were done with their food, they stood up. Keep your head down. Back to the jail? Yes, my shift starts in an hour. What about you? I'm going home. They tossed some coins to the server and headed for the door. Keep your head down. Wait a few moments. Wait a while longer and follow them. Can't follow them straight away. They'd notice me. Mei stayed behind. When she felt that the two men had enough of a head start, she went outside. Where did they go? She looked around. Did they turn off somewhere, or did they just walk too quickly? I've lost them. Ah. Alright. Follow them. No, wait for a few moments. If I go right after them, they're bound to notice. But I can't let them go too far either. I didn't get a chance. It went by so fast I didn't get a chance to read all of them. So yeah, I didn't realize this one was the one in the middle. Mei waited for a few short moments, then went outside. She was just in time to see the samurai and the soldier part ways at a crossroads. She followed the soldier. Doing her best to blend in, she was careful not to let him out of her sight. Now I know where that man is being held. But that isn't enough. I need more information. Why he's being hung, for example. Then I'd be able to come up with a convincing story about how this bandit ruined my life. I could ask for permission to look the captain in the eyes, or to... Mei was consumed with doubt to the point that she began arguing with herself. They're searching for me, and instead of hiding somewhere, I'm talking to myself right to the jail. I'm taking myself right to the jail. Wouldn't it be better to just sit still and wait for them to find and execute me? With her objective in sight, she started walking faster. Judging by the way the men at the gate greeted him, they were under the soldier's command. They called him Wataru Tomiyasa. Oh my god. These names, yeah. I can't help but think they're giving me these names for a reason. Like, they're gonna come important. Wataru Tomiyasa. His name might come in handy. Okay. As she was repeating the name, she approached. Wataru Tomiyasa. A gust of wind brought with it a fragment of conversation. Has the fish been delivered? No? It should arrive soon then. Make sure that it's fresh. We don't have anyone to deal with once it's inside. So I need to get some fish? Mei stopped at the corner. Her mind raced as she observed the guards. How am I going to get to him? Nothing came to her. They won't let me just walk in there. What was I thinking? While she puzzled over the situation, a barrel-laden cart approached the gate. The fish? The car driver greeted the soldiers, who calmly approached and began inspecting the barrels. Both soldiers stood on one side of the cart, giving May an idea. If someone wanted to sneak inside, this would be the perfect time. Her pulse quickened. She moved toward the gate. Oh boy. Get inside, find that criminal, help him escape in exchange for a deal. It's madness. But she pushed on. She was nearly to the cart. Sometimes there will be a fork in the story. The heroine's path will depend on the cumulative strength of the pearl or amber fox. This is my only chance. Path of the pearl fox. Okay, we were on pearl fox. Okay, so we were in passionate pearl fox. Because I kind of want to be like an illusionist, like Loki. That's right. What will I do once I'm inside? The guards were too busy inspecting the contents of the barrels to notice her. If I get caught here, I'm done for. She accidentally kicked a small pebble as she moved forward. May quickly ducked, caught between the cart and the gate. One of the soldiers looked up sharply. The other soldier asked, "What is it?" "I don't know. Must have been a shadow. Or a dog?" It already ran off, whatever it was. She ducked between the cart and the gate. The soldiers turned back to what they were doing. The car driver seemed content to ignore what was going on around him. Phew. She rubbed an itchy palm against her hip. The guards aren't expecting someone to want to break into this place. They're more focused on making sure nobody escapes. The jail was surprisingly empty. While they're out in the town looking for me, I'm right under their noses. The layout turned out to be rather straightforward. A courtyard surrounded by several buildings, May easily located the cells. The most important part of all this was to make it past the guard post. Luck was with her so far. Here's hoping my luck won't turn on me at the last moment. Damp floors, sturdy cell walls, and shackles. There was no escape. Water dripped monotonously. The afternoon had brought the first interrogation. They hadn't hit him much, mostly trying to scare him. In the morning, the executioner was supposed to come. That's when the maiming would begin. He was leaning back against the wall, doing the only thing he could, conserving his strength. He slept. His eyes snapped open as soon as the sound of footsteps came from the corridor. There he is! His keen sense of time told him that midnight had yet to arrive. Too early for another interrogation. His execution did not yet have a date, and the soldiers had been instructed not to bring him food. Something unusual was happening. The prisoner stood, favoring the wound on his side. The soldier guarding him also heard the footsteps. Who goes there? There was silence. Hey! Certain the jailer was moments from sounding the alarm, May stepped out of the dark corridor. Her appearance surprised the prisoner just as much as the guard. He just starts smiling. Who are you? I was sent to master this one. Her choice affected May's relationship with the prisoner. What? Why? Good thing I remembered his name. May attempted a smile that was simultaneously demure and lustful. While inexperienced, her imagination and training were to her benefit. That's right. The jailer was convinced. I mean, is he... Alright, but... What brought you here? A yokai? How did you wind up here? I got lost, sir. A voice came from the cell. Beautiful, isn't she? You don't get visitors like her. The guard's expression darkened as he told him, Shut up back there. He looked at May again. Go on, get out of here. Can you show me the way, sir? His contempt plain to see, the soldier made his way down the corridor. Follow me. When she was behind him, May did the first thing that came to mind. She took a torch from a nearby skull and hit the jailer on the back of the head as hard as she could. Ow! May had to follow up with another blow. The soldier fell to the floor, the odor of burnt hair hanging in the air. Ooh! Impressive. So direct. She didn't respond. May knelt to check if the guard was still breathing. Still alive. Unless you came all the way here to smack him across the head, I suggest you hurry up. The keys are on this shelf over there. Open this damn door. On one condition. Of course, I didn't assume that your compassion was boundless when you gave me water. You recognize me? His tone was irritated and impatient. Listen, we can talk later in a much better place. Right now we have to get out of here. He was curt as if he made a demand. The condition. Get me out of the city and take me to a safe place. He considered it for a moment. Agreed. I'll either get you out or I'll die trying. Now open the door. May took the key ring. Can I trust you? The prisoner's response was flippant. Do you have a choice? Yeah, I'm gonna trust him. Very well. The lock clicked and the cell door opened. The prisoner held out his hands. Now the shackles. May found the key without hesitation. Thank you. He stretched his wrist. Then he looked her right in the eyes, his gaze vicious and sharp. I won't deceive you. I won't forget that you helped me. May silently nodded. How did you get in here? I was lucky, there are only a few guards. She briefly told him the details. Follow me, but stay 5 steps behind. 5? Stay 5 steps behind. What should I call you? KAZU. KAZU. Is that his real name? I wonder. I'm just writing, taking more and more notes. KAZU. What's your name? May. They stepped over the jailer. Hey, is everything okay in here? The familiar soldier stepped out from around the corner. Huh? His hand shot to the hilt of his sword. KAZU leapt to his side in an instant. I need to distract the guard. Trick him. Mister, save me! May had little trouble feigning fear. She rushed toward the commander. Help me! Pearl Fox. Oh, okay! Illusion and trickery. Okay, I need to remember. That's what it is. Illusion and trickery. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted. The soldier was taken off guard, not realizing that he was dealing with accomplices. He let May get close to him. She clutched his hand, preventing him from drawing his sword. KAZU closed the distance at that moment and landed a solid hit on the soldier's jaw. Ugh. The soldier collapsed. Is he still alive? Yes, and next time you'll be gutted like a fish. What? Don't expose yourself like that. But I helped you, didn't I? He's in charge here. At least that's how the other guards behaved. Not good. If he was on patrol, then they'll realize something's wrong very soon. He bent down and took Wataru's sword. KAZU moved so silently that it baffled May. Luck was still on their side. As they approached the gate, they only came across one soldier, who they managed to avoid. KAZU subdued the guards at the gate and skillfully as he did the commander. There's something on your side. Is that blood? They made their way away from the jail, trying to put as much distance as they could between the place without arousing suspicion. We'll deal with it later. His jaw twitched. They're about to raise the alarm. In half an hour, if we're lucky, the patrols are going to be aware of my escape. If you want to leave town, we have to do it right now. He tossed the sword into the bushes. Why did you do that? That was worth something, or who are you? I'm in between why did you do that and who are you? I can kind of guess why he would do that though, because it's probably a recognizable sword in a sense. Like, since he's like, seems like he's kind of high ranking in a sense. I think they all would have like specialized, unique looking swords. And if someone spotted that on us along the road, they might immediately pick up that that was his sword, which means that we've done something wrong. We shouldn't have it. And I'm not really trying to sell it either for the same reason. So I'm gonna ask, who are you? The man who will solve your problem. To that point, why can't a Maiko get through the gate on her own? We'll talk about this later as well. I'm not a Maiko anymore. Guess I wasn't the only one who's had it rough the past few days. The sound of a large bell rang out far behind them. And there's the alarm. That was quick. Okay. Okay, so we got 3 passion and 2 pearl fox, I think. The number is higher than I thought it would be. When did we get 2 pearl fox? So we got 1. Yeah. So are we sure we want to do passion and pearl fox? Kind of seem like coldness and pearl fox will go together better. No, but I'm gonna do passion. Let me watch this ad. Episode 4, or chapter 4, The Chase. Oh. Only time does know. Matsuo Bashu. Who are these people? Should I write these down as well? I'm concerned. Okay, so first one was Isa. This one is Matsuo Basho. Only time does know. How many paths there are left to find happiness? How will we leave the city? Kazu looked at the night sky. I'm thinking. Gazing at the stars, seeing how dark it is. Good, at least you're not praying. Because if it's dark enough, we can kind of maybe hide in shadows. He glanced at her and nodded. The clouds will serve us well. They're searching for you everywhere? May responded simply, yes. And you're sure you're not exaggerating? I could try leading you out first and get out on my own. Deciding to clarify the situation, May spoke. They think I'm a witch. Think? I'm not a witch. What's the matter then? Someone... May cleared her throat. She felt as though she swallowed a thorn. Someone killed my mentor and they suspect I did it. A shame. They're checking everyone at the gates, even young men. They rub their faces with wax to see if they're disguised. I see. Going separately isn't an option. Shh. Kazu dragged her to the side by the elbow. May noticed the city guard patrol before they turned onto the next street. Kazu looked at May and his jaw twitched. What kind of games do you like? May didn't see how it was relevant, but she humored him. Word games and cat's cradle. I was taught shogi. When I was younger, I used to play with dolls. Why? What about tag? Leapfrog? Those games are not from Micah. Did you dance a lot at least? Yes. Is it... Must she speak in riddles? Is it really important right now? Must she speak in riddles? I don't know. There was a sharp look in his eye and his response was curt. I'm judging how far you'll be able to run. You won't have to carry me. I can handle this. Okay, that was passion. Okay, cool. Kazu led her through alleys she hadn't known existed. He stopped at an unassuming house. From beneath the eaves, he retrieved a leather bag and a handful of dust. The people who live here know about the bag? They probably had no idea. How many secret stashes do you have? Are you always this curious or only when you're nervous? The latter, I think. Kazu had a knife on him, along with the tinderbox and other small things. After that, he handed her a bundle. Get changed, it should be more comfortable. He threw a bag at her. Stand on that. The ground is cold. Turn away. A little smirk played across his lips, but he did as he was asked. That was kind of sweet. Okay, a men's gray kimono. Pretty. A men's black kimono. Oh, see, this would have matched the other hat if we had that one. Or a men's simple kimono. I like this one. Now, which one would be easy? Wouldn't this one be easier to run in though? This one kind of matches my hat more. This one looks like it was easy to run in, like for real. I'm gonna choose this one. There. Better than I expected. What about you? I don't have spare clothes here. This is all I had. Oh, and you gave them to us. That's so nice. They continued on, making their way through the city. The alleys gradually grew wider and the houses richer. We're nearing the upper quarter. Important people live there. Every house is guarded. I hope he knows what he's doing. Seems pretty good so far. To our surprise, there were few guards in this part of the city. The patrols were transferred over to the poor areas because of the jailbreak. They aren't expecting us here. He frowned as he spoke, as though he didn't like that fact. May raised her eyebrows. This is going too well. Not good. Without a clue what KAZU was planning, May silently followed him. Suddenly he stopped. That house there. She looked where he was pointing. It was a large building with a curved roof. We need to enter the yard and then move to the stables. Very quietly, it's heavily guarded. Then stables. I'm not taking any information for granted. Very quietly, it's heavily guarded. There's also an underground passage there that leads outside of the city. Yeah, I need to know why that's there. The owner had it dug out many years ago. He smuggles goods through it without paying taxes. Contraband? The daimyo would call it that. I would call it that if he knew. And how do you know all this? Instead of answering, KAZU smiled. Alright, have you used it yourself? No, let's go. As she followed, he glanced at her and winked. Are you asking if I'm a smuggler? No. A good friend of mine trades with people who frequent it. They crossed the street and stopped at the fence. I'll get in and give you a hand. He deftly climbed up. The stain from his wound had grown larger, but KAZU didn't seem to notice it at all. Oh, that's gonna catch up to him pretty soon. A few moments later, they were crouching in the shade of the yard. KAZU meaningfully put a finger to his lips. Then he headed toward the outbuildings. May followed after him. At least finally we got some help in this and we're not alone because we don't know anything about doing any of this. Her throat felt tight and scratchy. She realized she was about to cough. Oh my god. No, no, no. She held her breath and slowly took a deep breath. It passed. Yeah, at the stables, KAZU suddenly raised his hand. Look up and don't stop. Step forward and look up. Stop and crouch. May crouched. Just in time, a guard appeared nearby. Oblivious, he walked right past them. I was like trying to understand what the options said, like something and look up or something. I'm just like, shouldn't you just hide? Clearly, usually when people put their hand up, like when they're like, when you're traveling like secretly in like secret missions in the movies, they'll like hold their hand up like this or like that or something like that. That means stop what you're doing, hide. Don't ask questions. KAZU waited a short while before he opened the stable doors and they slipped inside. The entrance must be around here somewhere. He began expecting the floor along the far wall. May waited, occasionally glancing outside. She wished she had something to drink. The horses snored in their stalls. A chill, evil wind rustled the leaves. It sounds oddly like KAZU's voice. A while later, May heard the approaching footsteps of the guard returning. May stepped further into the shadows. As she held her breath, waiting for him to pass, the dull ache in her throat tormented her. She was unable to suppress a cough. Oh no! Who's there? The guard rushed into the stable as he shouted. Raise the alarm! He could only make out shadowy silhouettes in the dark stable. The guard backed away, loading his crossbow. Over here! He leveled his bow at May's face. Path of the Pearl Fox. A bat suddenly descended from the rafters and lashed into the face of the horse in the nearest stall. The startled horse rolled up and came crashing down against the stall's wall. An inexplicable wave of weakness washed over May and her legs gave out as the world spun. The crossbow bolt sliced through the air her face had just occupied. Good thing I passed the freak out! Seeing that the other guards were on their way, May crawled toward the wall. The guard that shot at her drew his sword and charged. The bat was nowhere to be seen, but the rest of the horses were riled up and filled with fear. Dust clouded the air as hooves clattered all around. The stalls creaked, straining to contain the animals. Crash! The horses broke free, separating May from the guard. Over here! There's only two of them! KAZU appeared over May. He grabbed her and pulled her along after him. Down, quickly! A hatch was open over a hole in the floor. She could barely make it out in the dim light. KAZU handed her a candle and hurried her along. Get moving. Shielding the candle with her hand, she ran along the tunnel with KAZU following just behind her. They'll bring torches and chase us down to here. Her legs barely held on. May stumbled and leaned against the wall. What's the matter? I don't know. Everything seems floaty. KAZU's looped her arm around his shoulder and firmly pulled her up so that she was leaning on him. I'm sorry. He gritted his teeth as he spoke. Stay quiet. Let's go. May fell silent as they moved on. He could have left me behind, but he's keeping his promise there. The tunnel seemed to go on forever. How far have we gone? Are we still into the city, or are we already beyond the wall? May slowly recovered from her lapse of strength. She tried to remain focused on where she was walking. A while later, indistinct sounds echoed from the tunnel behind him. I was like, yeah, it's getting lighter in here. The guards were catching up. Just a little farther to go. Hold on. He stopped under one of the supports. Go quickly. I'll try to collapse the passageway. Torchlight glimmered from the depths of the tunnel behind them. I see them. May stumbled forward. KAZU kicked a wooden pillar. Sand rained down from the ceiling. He struck it again and again. The wooden supports creaked as he struck another blow. A crossbow bolt whistled up the tunnel. Oh no! Oh my gosh, how many wounds is this guy gonna have? We're seriously gonna have to take care of him. KAZU clutched his ribs between his fingers just above his previous wound. A crossbow bolt was sticking out. The bag he'd retrieved from his stash fell to the ground. Run, now! Yeah, grab the bag and run. May picked up the bag and mustered what strength she had to run away. What's wrong with me? The choice will affect the story in the future. She fled. There was a loud cracking noise. Someone screamed, but the sound was quickly drowned out by the sounds of the tunnel. The earth shook and May dropped a candle. The floor suddenly seemed closer. Shit! Shoot, crack and pop! Oh my gosh! This is not the time! No! A wave of air and dust hit her in the back, blowing out the candle. However, up ahead, she could make out a very faint light. The exit. May dashed toward it, but she hadn't gone far when she collapsed unconscious. He doesn't know that I'm a fox, though! Something squeezed May's rib, making it difficult to breathe. May opened her eyes, realizing that she was laying over someone's shoulder. At first it seemed that it was a giant's shoulder. Oh no, I turned to a fox again. Her paws bounced in rhythm to the person's steps. She realized how weak she was as she tried to move. The man seemed to notice and stopped laying her on the ground. It was KAZU. He was pale and dusty and his clothes were stained with blood. You're awake. How is he not freaking out right now? How did he know that was me? Because I had the bag? That just raised way more questions about who the heck he really is. May wanted to say yes, but all that came out was an indistinct whimper. Can you walk? You have to. I doubt the owner is going to report us to the guards. Even if we did disrupt his operations, he's going to lose a lot of money. His fighters, on the other hand, are going to chase after us to appease him. It's dawn. They've likely gotten horses and made their way out around the city by now. We aren't too far from the tunnel. If they caught our trail, then we wouldn't have much time. Whimper, say nothing, or bark. Should I really be barking? I don't understand these options. Should I really be barking? I don't think we should be making that much noise. You're right, Fluffball. It's a bad situation. I've lost too much blood to move quickly. Also, good job getting my bag. The earlier choice affected May's relationship with KAZU. Yay! May stood up. Let's go. I'm not a witch. Ignoring her reaction, KAZU shook his head. We need to go southwest. Notes. What? What's that way? A fork in the road, a few inns where nobody cares who you are and where you come from, and a few people who owe me. The safe place I promised to take you to. You'll be able to blend in there and go wherever you wish. Is he not scared at all that I turned into a fox? He's acting as though this is a regular occurrence for him. Does your tail bother you? Is it annoying? May hadn't paid attention to it before, but now she focused on her tail. She even looked back at it periodically to keep an eye on his behavior. KAZU watched her with a satisfied expression. For a while, they made good progress. KAZU was lighter on his feet without the burden of carrying her, and May felt much better than she had in the tunnel. However, it wasn't long before KAZU needed more and more frequent breaks. How was he still walking? Suddenly he froze. Did you hear that? May shook her head. They have dogs with them. Oh no. Damn. I can take out those dogs. Dang it. Between the fox and the dogs, I think I can win. Her keen ears caught the still distant sound of barking. Find some mushrooms, the ones that grow on trees quickly. Mush on trees. If you rub them into your paws, it'll throw the dogs off your scent. Then get as far away as possible. What about you? Bruh, I'm not leaving you behind. May grabbed his leg in her mouth and tried to pull him along. I can't run anymore. Fine, just bring the mushrooms here, quickly. Yeah, bro, I'm not leaving you behind. We need to get out of this together. I can't just leave him here. She darted off in search of mushrooms. The ones she found initially were too far out of reach. Soon, she found some growing low enough on the trunk. She knocked them down to the ground and trampled a few. Then she picked up the rest, ignoring their foul taste, and brought them to KAZU. Mushrooms. Huh. Strange looking mushrooms. He rolled the mushrooms into the soles of his shoes. Let's go. May was almost certain that they would escape when KAZU collapsed to the ground. She rushed to his side and touched his hand with her paw. Then she prodded his face with her nose. He didn't react. His eyes closed. I think that's what it said. I clicked too fast. Stay calm and to think about what to do. I need to do something, and fast. If this is passion versus coldness, coldness is thinking things through. Passion is doing things. So, she rushed directly at her pursuers. I let them away from him. She hurried barking again, very close this time. A shaggy dog jumped out of the bushes. I take it back. I don't know if I can take that thing on.
I can take out those dogs.
I take it back. I don't know if I can take that thing on. That thing is evil. Look at his face. She dashed to the side in a blur of red fur, and the dog ran after her. It didn't bark anymore. The other dogs had already received its message. Now it ran silently, relentlessly. The thrill of the hunt kept the dog going while fear drove May in her fox body. She didn't look back. Stupid, dumb idea. There's so many of them, I can't even handle one. The dog was gaining on her. A felled tree. Jump over the trunk, dart to the left around the tree, dive under the trunk, dart to the right around the tree. Dart to the left? She suddenly turned, bits of plants and foliage flying from under her paws. The dog's reaction was instantaneous. It jumped and knocked me to the ground. I don't know, I think I might have did that wrong. Try something else. Directly above her, May saw gleaming fangs. Okay. Wow. Like, I don't really have any details here to know what to do. Okay. Okay, felled tree. They only say it's a felled tree. Jump, dive under the trunk. I'll try that. May squeezed herself into the crack beneath the dry old trunk. The dog jumped after her, its teeth snapping behind her tail. There was a thud followed by a long and angry howl. After crashing into the tree, the dog quickly backed off. May disappeared into the thicket. It worked! With the chase over, she circled around the long way to where she had left KAZU. She examined KAZU. He's still breathing. Will he survive, or am I going to be alone again? She sat down nearby. Her soft tail covered her freezing paws. It must be cold. May did all she could. Remembering the old shed and the sawdust, she covered KAZU with leaves. Overcoming her embarrassment, she lay down next to him, trying to share her warmth. Don't die. She closed her eyes and dozed off. May shivered. I was surprised I still have my clothes. Again, she missed the moment when she changed back into a person. Why is this happening? What could be causing this? Do I have to fall asleep to change back? She was freezing and her throat was sore. I'm definitely sick. KAZU? He lay beside her and surprisingly was still alive. May carefully brushed his hair from his face. He opened his eyes in response to her light touch. Casting your spells? May was happy that KAZU woke up, but her smile was a bit strained. No, I'm not a... I remember. We're still free? Why didn't you leave? May wasn't sure which of the responses that came to her mind was the truth, so she didn't say anything. KAZU didn't press further. He simply looked into her eyes. You don't need to say anything. I see you're grateful. Let me take a look at your wound, although I'm not an expert. He grimaced as he carefully shifted his bloody, tattered clothes aside. His side was bandaged with a dirty piece of cloth. Might get infected, dude. Is that a tattoo on his arm? Dude, we already got his shirt off. I had to do something about it when we got out of the tunnel. Oh, he'd already wrapped it? Jeez. Oh, I guess the bag helped. You escaped while carrying me. You weren't afraid of the curse. How could I just leave you after that? Your old wound has reopened and something is sticking out. It's a crossbow bolt. I broke it off. May threw up her hands. How were you able to walk? Barely, and not for long. You aren't disgusted? What difference does it make or no? No, I'm not disgusted. Disgusted of what? I can sympathize. Why would I be disgusted? But more importantly, what should I do? May. He's never addressed me by my name. Something has changed with him. When he spoke next, his tone was displeased. Are you listening? Or maybe not? Yes, I am. You need to pull out the arrow. In my bag, there's a needle, some thread, and bandages. You'll sew up the wound, pretty straightforward. Are you serious? Yes, I'll probably lose consciousness, but it'll be fine. Can you do this? Because of an earlier choice, KAZU would not have a noticeable scar. Oh. Because I have the bag! Can you do this? She nodded decisively. Good. Once May had done everything according to KAZU's instruction, he recovered rather quickly. He carefully stood, supporting himself with a sturdy stick. I didn't think anyone could have this much control over their body. Are you sure you can walk? KAZU silently nodded and started awkwardly moving forward. Drops of sweat appeared on his forehead. Oh, poor thing. Why do you insist that you're not a witch? Listen, I don't know why this happened. I'm not a kitsune. I'm just a simple girl from a village who spent her entire life in a Nokia. This isn't the first time this has happened, is it? She pursed her lips. It's the second time, but it happens on its own. Okay, then what was that at the stable? What do you mean? Why did the horses get scared? A bat swooped at the horse's face. I saw it. He grinned, then gasped and grabbed his side. So he definitely knows about magic. But how? Ow. Where did it come from, I wonder? It was probably sleeping in the rafters and got woken up by the shouting guard. No. They spend the winter in quiet places where there are no people, not in stables. Also, I didn't see any bats. You might deny it, but it was definitely witchcraft. There was no one else there, and you're the only one of us that turned into a fox. The logical conclusion? I'm not lying. I didn't say you were. May considered the questions on her mind for a few moments. What have you heard about Kitsune? Does magic not frighten you at all? I need some info though. No more than others, things from fairy tales. Have you ever met one? No. Although, I know a man who might have. There's a sorcerer, my friend. After thinking a bit, May came to a decision. You promised to take me to a safe place. Until I figure out what's going on with me, there will be no such place. Take me to him. To the sorcerer. I'm not sure he'll welcome you. It doesn't matter. KAZU considered for a few moments. Then we need to head toward the river. Yay, more time with KAZU. They had to stop to rest again after a short while, but they finally reached the shore in the evening. They took refuge from the wind and prying eyes among the trees. While May gathered firewood and started a campfire, KAZU lapsed into unconsciousness. Oh, poor thing. Shivering slightly from the cold, he muttered something incomprehensible. May felt feverish herself. After some hesitation, she hugged him. He shook his head in response, whispering a bit louder. No. Enough. Don't you dare die on me here. Don't. I'll kill. What is this? A simple nightmare or a vision from the past? He gradually stopped shivering and calmed down. Meanwhile, May recalled the events of the past day. The gel, the escape through the tunnel, the forest. Soon enough, fatigue replaced fear. May was about to fall asleep when a thought crossed her mind. Former Maiko, now a geisha. I've never been this dirty in all my life. What would Mr. Sumiko say? She got up, tossed some more wood into the fire, and approached the water. With a few wet rags, she thoroughly cleaned herself. Then she returned to the fire. Clean KAZU. Oh, yes. Careful not to disturb the wound, May moved his clothing out of the way. Dude, we're just trying to get this dude's clothes off, I swear. She carefully ran the red rag along his shoulder, then to his hand. She could feel his tight muscles. She washed the dirt and dust from his neck before returning to the river to rinse the rags. Then she started cleaning his chest. While she was wiping the skin around his bandages, he opened his eyes. Even if you try very hard, I don't think anything is possible between us. You keep saying that, bro. You already got your clothes off, that's all I'm saying. Someone's about to get a wet rag to the face. KAZU smiled weakly. You'll be a jerk even on your deathbed. Will you let me finish? Thanks. Aim to see your back. Later, she helped him get dressed. After a bit of hesitation, she hugged him again for warmth. It's only a necessity. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. KAZU didn't pull away, although he refrained from touching her. I wonder what his goals are. Sounds like there's some trauma. Maybe they killed someone important to him. And maybe he's saying it's impossible to get closer because he doesn't want to form any more attachments. And risk of losing them because he knows that his goal is likely probably suicidal. He probably wants revenge against someone. Maybe. In the morning he looked no better, although he was more steady on his feet. Where to now? You haven't changed your mind? No. To the mountains then. Like seriously, I need to know what's going on with me if I have any chance of surviving here. So if you know a sorcerer guy, I need some training. To my house. To the village of my shinobi clan. Ninja? Yes. Interesting. So he's a ninja and the other guy is a samurai. That's so cool! I love that he's a ninja, dude. That's so cool. Looks like there is another episode. I don't exactly remember how many ago. I don't know. I don't know how many episodes there are. But I think we'll do this one in the next episode. We'll maybe do it by itself, or if there's, I don't think there's 4 episodes, it's probably just the 3. But yeah, we'll do this next time anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, go ahead and show that like button, some love, subscribe to see more content like this and see if we can get KAZU's clothes off some more. I will see you next time. Bye.